like an egg. I look like an egg with a braid now. Hey guys, it's Keegan. Welcome back to my channel. Why'd I do that? I feel like I'm like swinging a baseball bat, which I can't do to save my life. So today's video, I'm going to be showing with you guys. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm going to be sharing with you guys some tips to get A's in your classes. So basically habits of a straight A student. I have straight A's. These are basically habits and things that people that get straight A's do. I just said that already. I'm going to be straight up and honest with you guys. Getting straight A's is not something that is easy. Ask anyone who has straight A's. They will most likely say it's not easy unless they're like geniuses and like they don't have to study and they're smart already. And in that case, they're annoying. Those are the worst kind of people that are smart and that don't even have to try. And then there's like the rest of us who actually have to try. That's annoying. But I'm going to be sharing with you guys my tips for how I get A's in my classes, what I make a priority and what I make not a priority, and basically everything to help you get good grades. I've done a few other like study videos and like finals and how to get good grades. These are all tips and mindsets and things like that that will help you get a good grade. I will also link down below all my other like grade-esque videos. So let's get started. First one is to take good notes. I actually did a video on how to take good notes a few months ago. I know when you're taking notes it's super annoying, but taking good notes is actually super important because you're going to be studying those notes and those notes are going to be on the test, and the test is a big portion of your grade. I find for me at least taking good notes is the key to success for getting a good grade on my tests. So definitely try taking good notes. I like to use highlighters and pens and just color code everything, make things stand out and work for me. Like I said, I did do a video on how to take good notes, so I will link that down below and put it in the card section if you want to watch it and figure out my best tips for taking good notes. My next tip is to sit in class by where the teacher stands to lecture. So when you are doing notes and they're talking about things, if you can choose your seats, sit in the area where they tend to stand when they're explaining the notes and reading them off and answering questions. I am kind of a shy person. I'm not like, you see me online and I'm like this big personality, but like in real life I'm kind of like I've never really been the type to like raise my hand and ask questions. It's just not me as a person. And so in my chemistry class sophomore year, I kind of sat by where the teacher would stand to lecture, and I would always just kind of like ask him like casual questions like, oh, what about this? Any kind of like confusion or misconception I had, he would always clear it up, and it was kind of like a one-on-one conversation between us because it wasn't like raising my hand and making it a big point for the entire class. Sometimes he'd be like, oh, good question, then explain to the entire class. But when you sit by where the teacher lectures, you kind of can like ask them one-on-one questions. So it's like you're being taught one-on-one in a way, and you're just more likely to ask questions if you're not far away from them. That's how I find myself at least, and it helps me a lot and it clarifies everything for me. Definitely try that one if you're not the biggest personality in the classroom and you don't like to ask a ton of questions, because I know I don't. This one is my least favorite one, but it is to study. I have done a few study videos, so again, I will link my study videos in the cards. I feel like this entire video is just like a self-promo for like all my other videos. I guess it kind of works. I'll give you the tip and then I'll give you like a video to like go in depth into the tip. But studying really helps me. Like I said, tests for most classes at least are a big portion of your grade. So studying is really important. Like right now, I'm in an AP Psych class and I've had to study a lot for that. It's all basically notes and memorization in that class. So if I don't study for that, I am screwed. Studying is super important. I cannot tell you, there is very few A students that don't study, that don't take the initiative to go out of their way to like look over their notes, make flashcards, things like that. I personally like to make flashcards. That's what works for my mind and my brain. But everyone does have their own little system and things that work for them. So study, yeah. Next one is to teach someone the material that you're learning. This is actually something that I learned from my Spanish teacher, and there's this study that they did somewhere. There's 4 types of people in her class. She has mastery, proficiency, developing, and basic. I don't know if that's the right order, but mastery is the strongest person. So she had tables of 4 and she had each of the levels in that table. Mastery basically means that you know the knowledge so well that you can teach someone. And teaching someone, it's the highest level of knowing something. So if you are able to know material so well that you can teach it to someone, then there's a really good possibility that you're going to do great on the test and you're going to do great in the class and you're going to ace something. So after you study for your test, try explaining it or teaching it to someone that doesn't know how to do it. Plan ahead. This is so important. Always know when your tests are coming, when your vocab is due, and everything. Plan ahead. Make sure you are in the know of what's happening in the class so you're not all of a sudden the night before the test you have like 50 million assignments and you're stressed out and you don't have time to study because you're doing all these assignments. Planning ahead is so important. Be organized. If you have a cluttered backpack, if you have cluttered notes, if you have a cluttered folder, you're gonna have a cluttered mind. I think I said that wrong. You're gonna have a cluttered mind. So stay organized. I just did a backpack organization video. There we go again for this whole promo. Woohoo! When I went like woohoo, it like took my braid with me. It's like a beard. Prioritize and time management is super important. I do YouTube videos obviously, and I have to use a ton of time management to manage school and YouTube and prioritizing things. What is more important to me? Is hanging out with my friends more important, or is getting my homework done more important? You have to make a conscious effort of which one is more important to you. There you go, girl. Next one is to see what is weighted in your classes. So for most of my classes, tests are probably like 50% of my grade, and then like 10% for homework, 10% for classwork, 20% for final, and like 10% for like whatever else. I don't really know. In my composition class, essays are 50% of my grade, and quizzes are 10% of my grade. So if I have to choose between studying for a quiz or making sure my essay is bomb, I'm going to make sure my essay is bomb and not study for that quiz. Or maybe like slightly review for that quiz, but spend more time on the things that are weighted more in your class. So like I said, for my composition class, I'm going to spend more time on my essays because the essay is going to have a bigger impact on my grade than that little quiz will, because my quiz is 10% of my grade. Another thing is to always do your homework. I know homework is such a small percent of your grade, but if you keep getting zeros and zeros and zeros, that's really going to bring your grade down. Most A students do their homework. I can't name a student that has a 4.0 that doesn't do their homework, in all honesty. It's a lot of points. In my math class, homework doesn't weigh that much, but since we have so much, it's basically like all the points we have in our grade book right now, because although tests are weighted more, we don't have as many points for tests. Obviously, you want to do good on the test, but since you have so many points in the grade book for homework, you want to be doing your homework. You want to be getting those easy points. My last one is your mindset. If you go into a class thinking, I just need a C in this class, you're gonna get a C. I go into every single class thinking I'm gonna get an A. It's not something that I have to like tell myself like, Keegan, you're gonna get an A, you're gonna do this. I'm like, no. It's just my nature to be like, I'm gonna get an A in this class. I expect myself to get an A in this class. I think of myself going into the class, I'm getting an A, and that is what helps me strive for it. Your mindset is so important. I'm in psychology right now, and I'm like learning about all these things to do with your mind, and your mind is just so important, and you have to be in control of your mind. So go into each class with a mindset that you're going to get an A, and I can almost guarantee you, if you have that mindset and you put in the effort, you will get an A. I'm actually gonna like sneak in a little side tip. I know that I said I was done, but tutoring, if you really are struggling with something, have a teacher or a student or anyone help you. Google things, Khan Academy, tutoring. Those are all my tips on habits of a 4.0/A student. I hope that you guys liked them, and I hope they're going to help you get the grade you want in your class. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video.